Hey guys, welcome back to another out of spec detailing video. Today we're going to be starting a little bit of a home series and starting off with mounting up your pressure washer. One of the biggest things that I see you guys often talk about when it comes to washing your car, it's not actually washing the car that's the issue, it's setting up all of the equipment. So that's why today we're going to be checking out the Active full all-in-one pressure washer mount and hose reel, unboxing this thing, doing a full review on it, and actually mounting it in my friend Nick's house. So welcome back to the channel. Let's jump into it. Well guys, want to introduce you to my friend here, Nicholas. He's a good friend of mine and an electric car enthusiast just like myself. And Nick likes to keep his cars clean. This is actually a German, so if you know anything about Germans, they love very neat and tidy and things very organized. So I've been talking with Nick and said, hey dude, I really want to get you set up at your house here with some sort of pressure washer setup. And one of the best brands out there, Nick, I actually think for this is Active. And Active has a great range of different products, starting off at the 2.0 pressure washer, which is very entry level. We've got a 2.3, which we're going to be installing up here today, and then the brand new 3.0 that I just made a review with. But one of the things when it comes to washing your car at home, it's not necessarily washing your car that is the annoying part. It's actually setting everything up right. So, you know, taking a pressure washer like this, bringing it out here, setting it up, taking it over to your outlet, plugging it in, then bringing your hose around to plug your water inlet, then actually getting your pressure washer set up from the actual hose size from the unit. So this is their all-in-one solution here, and pretty excited for this. So Nick, what has your experience been with pressure washers at all?
The only pressure washers I know are like the little portable ones on wheels. Okay. And they typically don't have the best pressure, and I feel like they always give in a little bit. I grew up in a household that, like, my dad had his own business, so he had like an industrial commercial pressure washer, which was like, heck, you could even run with diesel, and like
love it. That
was like super heavy. You just like you need to like really push that thing up the hill. That was a completely different experience. And if you like have ever experienced like commercial grade versus like consumer grade, it's like completely different world. And yeah, it's like I haven't really gotten one. I thought about recently like to get one, and looked at some of the portable ones at the hardware store, but yeah, just not haven't really convinced myself to get one yet.
Yeah, I totally hear you. And you know, one of the things you and I were just talking about inside actually was you actually use a car wash subscription because you have 2 kids, you're busy, you don't want to spend a ton of time, you know, washing your car all the time. But if you have a setup that's easy to rinse off your car, to wash your car, that is convenient, it might be something you can actually use. And that's why I said, okay, let's get Nick set up with an Active 2.3. Let's get the full wall mount solution so he doesn't have to deal with all the hoses and all of that fun stuff. So let's, Nick, I think, unbox this thing. I've actually never seen this, so I'm really excited to see it. What I can tell you, my experience from any sort of Active products that I've tried, really high quality accessories. So that's something I'm hoping to see here. This being an all-in-one solution, that you have a shelf that you can mount your pressure washer on, the hose reel, you have ability to put your foam cannons, orifice tips, everything inside of there, all in one kind of container. Seems really, really nice.
Yeah.
We'll also talk about where we're going to mount it, because that's a big thing here. And we'll also talk about your electrical needs, because that's a big thing when it comes to pressure washers. All right, Nick, one thing I was just noticing here, I was thinking I was getting a little tired because I couldn't read any of this. I think that's French though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it.
So let's get this thing unboxed here. Let's pop this open. So this is an all-in-one unit, and really excited to check this thing out. Again, I want to give you guys first impressions here, and want to look at the quality. This retails right at $399, so not necessarily a cheap solution, but this is something that's really nice if you want just kind of unbox this thing, mount it up on your wall, versus what I actually have at my shop. You've been to my shop and seen that setup.
Very neat.
It's very crazy to do and takes a ton of time, and this just seems so much more, I don't know, just all in one. So let's check this thing out. All right, great packaging so far here. Wow, it seems beefy. You want to pull that thing out?
Yep.
Holy guacamole. Is that heavy?
Yeah.
Nice.
It seems very solid.
Okay, so we've got
something else down there.
something else down here. I literally have no idea what's in here.
I think that's probably the mounting plate.
Okay, so that's what goes on
the wall.
Okay, so we've got nice all metal here, and it's got this like crinkle finish on it in the kind of active gray, which is really nice because it matches the rest of their line. I think it looks really nice. And that's one thing I wanted to make sure we did here at your house, Nick, because I know you're particular with things. You're very similar to myself. So I wanted to make sure it looked really nice in your garage and set up pretty well.
Yeah, it looks
so
nice.
That's a good start so far. I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's pop this stuff open over here as well. Okay. So first thing I'm noticing up here, Nick, so all of these different mounts here. So this is the actual shelf. So one big thing that's nice to have with pressure washers is to make sure you're mounting them on there, like, you know, bolted down so they don't walk on you and fall off the actual shelf. But wow, I'm really impressed so far with how nice all of this feels. Yeah, all stainless. That's one thing that they really do well. So we've got more accessories in here. I don't even know what this thing comes with, so I'm super excited to check this thing out. Wow, dude, this seems really, really nice.
Yeah, it's all coated.
The great thing here that a lot of hose reels don't have is a great jumper hose, which basically goes from your pressure washer output into your actual hose that we'll put in here. Now, the cool thing about this too, Nick, I've got you hooked up with a 50-foot hose. If you decide that is not long enough, we can actually go to 100. So you can run anything from 1/4 inch to 3/8 on this. I typically like 3/8. Active uses 5/16 on this, and should be plenty fine for that. We've also got some more accessories, so we'll get all of these open. But wow, first initial impressions, I am really impressed here. And of course, we have a user manual. Absolutely don't need that. So we've got 2 of these boxes. I gotta tell you, man, all of the fittings on here, super, super nice. Jumper hose feels great. All stainless steel fittings in here. I'm curious if it comes with all the hardware and everything you need to actually mount it. Ah, that's the handle.
Yeah.
So that's gonna go over there.
Really heavy.
Oh my gosh. Wow, super high quality.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that Active has said about this, which is kind of funny compared to the other hose reels, they really pride themselves on not having any plastic in this, that it's all metal, it's built to last. They actually do have a little plastic right here on the little spinner, which I think is totally fine. Feels very high quality and beefy.
Yeah, great.
What else we got here? Ah, we do have all the hardware.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This is, I think, for the handle.
All right, we've got another quick little accessories box there as well. So comes with everything you need. That's great, because I was thinking, all right, we're gonna have to run to the hardware store, figure out all of this. Should be, I think they say 10 minutes, Nick, to
Nice.
to set this up. So I'm gonna time you, you know,
I believe it.
and make sure. We got to do our thorough review here.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, cool. I know exactly what that is. So that's actually for your pressure washer gun that mounts directly on here.
Oh,
so
cool.
there's like a place to put all of your accessories, which I just think is really, really nice. All right, Nick, give me your impressions, because I'm pretty impressed with this thing so far.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. I mean, it doesn't look heavy, but it is.
How much do you think that weighs?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I can't wait to get it. Like all the stuff in here. All of
like
this
20
is really high quality.
kgs.
20 kgs. I don't even know what that means. We use freedom units here, sir.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things we want to consider, Nick. So we've got on our Active 2.3 over here, we've got a 35-foot electrical cable. So that was one thing I wanted to make sure that you have electrical near you. Now, personally, as a detailer and somebody who is very OCD, I want my outlet like 2 inches away from my pressure washer, so it's super short and nice. But here at the house, we're not going to move around your electrical or anything like that. So you've got an electrical cable over here.
Yep.
Now, the one thing we were talking about, I think you're probably going to put it right on this wall here so that you can wash out here in your driveway. Pull this out, it'll be super easy. I also initially, when I was looking at this, was wondering maybe we could put it in this little corner here, which it does look like it might fit there.
Let's see.
What the cool thing is, it's actually really compact.
In what?
That would fit there. The only consideration with this is pulling the hose out here.
Yeah.
I think would be a little bit easier if it was mounted on that wall.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you put it here.
Yep. And you can put this as high as you want, as low as you want. So I mean, you could even put it down in this area. I kind of like to have it a little bit higher at eye level. I mean, Nick is like 6'5". So it's gonna be taller than I would normally do. But I think we're gonna mount this in this particular area. We'll talk about how we're gonna run water to this, but I think we'll go through here and we're gonna need a stud finder to figure out.
Yep.
Because you're not gonna use drywall plugs in this. This plus your pressure washer is gonna rip that right out of the wall.
Yeah, that pressure washer alone is like heavy.
Yeah, it is. So, all right, let's figure that out. We'll get it mounted up there and then we can go through all of this, but really impressed so far. So how you actually mount this is the actual backing plate that you come up here and actually mount this to the wall. So it has 16-inch stud centers on it. So we're gonna make sure we find those properly in there using our stud finder, which we've already been doing here. So you mount this basically directly to the wall, right into the studs. Now the cool thing, Nick, is you leave that up there and then this basically just hooks right onto those little taps there, which is pretty darn nice. Well, we got a wasp going everywhere. It's that time of year.
I shouldn't be. But
get out of here, wasp. It's friggin' 90 degrees in Colorado today.
In March.
It's literally mid-March, which is insane.
It's insane.
All right, let's get this thing mounted. We'll show the viewers along the way. All right, so Nick's got that through there so you can see how that sits. And then once we get it mounted on the wall, we'll of course suck that up and make sure it's all tight and not going anywhere. Honestly, it's probably okay if it has a little bit of slop in there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't really move around, but of course you can tighten that to your heart's desire. So hand that to Nick. He'll get the other two in. You can get this puppy mounted on the wall.
Probably if you have kids, you might want to tighten it a little bit more.
Yeah, William will be hanging off this thing like a monkey bar.
As soon as he's old enough,
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, eh.
So Nick's gonna toss this just straight up on there.
We just need to make sure that washers are behind the thing. Sorry, I'm stepping in your camera.
No, you are all good. Oh, so that's super easy access there to get these tightened down. That's not bad at all.
Gonna grab a wrench and then.
All right, Nick, that was pretty straightforward. So we are all mounted up now. I can show you guys what that actually looks like here. Now we wanted to mount this a little bit higher, especially because Nick's got little ones here. Again, these look like nice little monkey bars for the kids to hang on for sure.
But you don't hit your head on it every time or whatever.
Exactly. And I think this is perfect. Again, instead of mounting it here and trying to pull the hose out this way, you can just pull it directly out of the garage here.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. All right, so let's get all this stuff tightened down. We can get the 2.3 mounted up here. And again, this works with the 2.0, works with the 2.3. And I do believe this also works with the 3.0, although that is even heavier than the 2.3, which is pretty crazy. It's a beast. It's an actual beast. Couple other things I want to show you guys in here. So this is really cool how they've done their jumper hose here. So jumper hose, you can see, goes right through this little port here. And they have made this perfectly designed for their pressure washers. So that it goes boop right there, and that's your outlet. There is a little bit of plastic here, which I'm totally fine with. All good there. But as you can see, this is all stainless fittings in here. So your hose will come here. And then the cool thing, they've actually added this little kind of wing nut situation on the back here. And your hose comes directly through here so that it can wrap up in there. And again, you can use 50 foot all the way up to 100 feet here. So I'm pretty blown away with all of this stuff. This is really, really high quality, way better than some other ones out there that I've seen. And this is also a mount that you can actually just purchase if you just want the hose reel, you don't want the actual mount here. Honestly, this is something I might consider upgrading in my shop as well. I think we're gonna start mounting on some of the accessories here. So let's get on the handle. Pretty cool little design here. And again, just really impressed by the quality of that. So you got a little pin that goes right through there. Locks on the back side. And the cool part about that is you can remove it whenever you need to, if you absolutely wanted to. Yeah, it's pretty sharp.
The lock is out, huh?
Yeah, I took the lock out. Yeah. You can put it back in if you want.
Yeah, that's cool though, that it has one.
Yeah, really impressive. So let's come over here, Nick, because we need to talk to the viewers about our water hookup supply. So a couple of things here. Now, this is an M22 14 millimeter fitting on here. The cool thing with that jumper hose that they've supplied on there, you don't have to play with anything. It just hooks right into the front there, so everything is optimized for their machines. Now, for a garden hose thread, what I always recommend doing is doing quick disconnects. So run me through what you have here in terms of your water supply, because the viewers will notice you don't actually have water taps in here. Now that's something that is kind of ideal to have, but there's going to be a workaround here.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit extra step. At some point, if you decide, hey, it's worth it to get water plumbed into the garage, you can do that. If you don't have it, Nick, you've got, what do you think this is, 100-foot hose or so?
Yeah, I think this is 100 or maybe a little less, but it's definitely goes all the way from the side.
So you've got your water all the way down there, and this is something that you keep out all the time if you need to water stuff out front here, do whatever you need to do. So the cool part is, basically for Nick to start washing, you just got to put this out and pop it into the pressure washer.
Yeah.
Now your fittings on here, we were talking about, what are these? You told me these were German quick disconnects?
It's like a German company that like I've just been grew up with. And
What is this?
it's called Gardena.
Interesting.
And I think it's a German company. I don't know, but they're very popular over there. Everybody has them at home because you can just like plug this in.
Yep.
If you pull this out, the water doesn't come spraying out.
Cool.
Has like a stop mechanism, so it's really nice. Yeah, and so I just got that here when like I saw these screw-on things and I wanted like something to,
Right.
you know, quickly disconnect. And
So these are all made out of plastic, which is not necessarily my recommendation for these, but Nick's got all his quick disconnects on this. So the cool thing is it's standard 3/4 inch garden hose thread. You can use whatever you really want on this. So if you want to use connectors like this, if you want to go brass, if you want to go full stainless steel, you can really do whatever the heck you want. And that's the cool thing with this. You're not forced into whatever. So this here is something I would traditionally use at the shop. So this is full stainless steel here, and this plug goes right into here. You tighten it, and then you have your other quick disconnect on the other side. So this is what Nick's gonna use. We're gonna try this out and see how it actually works. So this will just pop right into here, and we'll get this all tightened down. But typically not a lot of pressure going into that. And then pretty much we're ready to throw this thing up on the wall.
yeah,
Crazy how simple that is.
put that up there.
Super nice.
So this probably just gets to go.
Yeah, so as you can see down here, the cool part about this is on the 2.3 right here, you've actually got holes already pre-installed. So if we move that back, you can see how those are. Right. So you can definitely, you know, get bolts to go directly through there.
Yeah.
Those will be perfect to go. Now, the only negative I'm going to say here, Nick, it doesn't seem like it comes with those bolts, which seems like a miss to me.
I didn't see those bolts, no.
Right. I'm going to look back through the packaging and double check that that's actually the case. But that does seem like a bit of a miss to me. Those need to come with the actual hose reel system.
You buy this together, right? Like you don't want to go back to the shop and like having to online purchase bolts for this, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mess. So I'll double check and make sure. But this is pretty straightforward how this goes here. So you can see as I'm trying to do this one-handed here. So this is going to go directly into, I'll let Nick handle it.
Yeah.
So you get that in there. Boom. Yeah, that elbow is a little funky, but once you get it over there, you just tighten that. That is pretty darn clean there, my friend.
Yep. Tight.
Super slick.
So would you just let it sit up there without the bolts? Like
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not recommended, right?
Yeah.
I think it should be, man, I don't know. It does move around a little bit, doesn't it?
Maybe there's bolts in the actual pressure washer.
You know, that's a good point because these actually come mounted on a plank of wood directly to that. So maybe those, I'm trying to remember. I've had this unit for a little while.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, but I would definitely recommend using the bolts here. And you can clearly see they've got a little grid down here to fit the 2.3 if you want to mount it, you know, farther side to side, if you want to push it back a little bit. You've got a bunch of flexibility here. I think you can easily get bolts for this, or we can figure out what we need. But yeah, I do think it should just come in the package with this. You shouldn't have to go find the old bolts for that. Because I think a lot of people are probably purchasing the unit and then probably deciding, oh, hey, I want a wall mount system for it. You're not going to have those bolts sitting around. You probably throw them away.
So it would be nice to just throw in 4 bolts.
Agreed.
Can't be that back.
Super agree. So we can probably put this back here. We'll just kind of tidy up all of the cabling here, and Nick can make it look as nice as his little heart
I
desires.
could just like get some conduit and just put it over here.
Yep, and make it super clean.
Yep.
So that's pretty darn awesome. I mean, this thing looks really, really high quality up here. Really impressed with how that looks. And the cool thing, Nick, turn this thing on right here. So it's very simple on-off switch on it.
Yep. And out of reach, which is great.
Out of reach from the kiddos. All right, let's get the hose mounted up now after you get it plugged in. All right, Nick. So here we've got some of the accessories for you. So we've got the active foam cannon, we've got the active gun here, and we also have the hose. Now, it is not directly sold with this, so for that $3.99, you are just getting the wall mount. You do have to purchase this additionally. So if we pop this open, I just have to say I love their packaging on stuff. It just feels really high quality and nice unboxing experience here. So this is that M22 14 millimeter fitting that would normally go on there if you were just mounting the hose directly to the pressure washer. Really high quality. Dude, this is full stainless steel. Feel that.
Wow. Heavy.
Their stuff is so nice.
Yep.
And then even on your hose here, all of these quick disconnects, all in complete stainless steel, which is best for having water through it. And a pretty nice hose. I gotta be totally honest, not my favorite hose on the planet. I use a Cobra Jet 3/8 hose at the shop. It's a little bit smoother. This one is a little bit on the rougher side, but I do think it's nice here because you've got concrete dragging this around. Probably not going to get quite as destroyed as the Cobra Jet would. So let's get this unpacked here. I'll show you how simply this gets mounted up onto the hose reel, which is probably one of the best that I've seen when it comes to hose reels for how easy this is to mount. All right, so I had a little filming issue. I just literally didn't press start on it. YouTuber problems, Nicholas. But I want to quickly show you guys how well nicely thought out this is. So your 3/8 quick disconnect here to your 3/8 quick disconnect. So male side, female side, boom, hooks right up into there. And then they've also thought about your cable management here, which is really nice. So you've got this little part over here that's held on by wing nuts on this size, all sized out, absolutely perfect, so that now you can get a good wrap on it. And I gotta say, the hose feels, you know, pretty decent. I think it's gonna be actually perfect over here for Nick's concrete. Nick, why don't you start reeling this up and tell me what you think? Now you gotta do it, you know, perfect, right? You gotta make sure it lines up exactly how it should here. Nice. Feels pretty smooth.
Yep.
Or it looks pretty smooth.
Super solid. Like,
let me feel this thing.
Like, it's nice and big.
Oh,
so
that's great.
It's big enough to...
As I just messed up your reel there.
Oh, good.
Oh, I totally messed it up.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Okay.
That's one of the things with steel braided hoses. They have, you know, they're lacking a little flexibility, but it's something you need with pressure washers, especially like the 2.0 and 2.3. Pretty notorious surging in the motors if you have a, you know, like an Uber Flex hose without all of that in there. Nick's already messing this up. What are we doing here, Nicholas? I'm just kidding. Yeah, it looks super clean. Boom. And the cool thing is, so now you just bring this over here, boom, right into there. And now you can't just yank that out.
That's nice.
Love it. Here's the other cool thing. You can see these just pop right into these little rubber grommets.
Oh, that's for the foam cannon.
Now you've got your foam cannon right there. We also need to mount where, on this side here, where your gun goes, and then all your tips just go right into there.
Super clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
As
I don't
clean
know.
as it gets, I think.
I would totally agree. For an all-in-one solution that can actually hold, you know, things like foam cannons, your lance up here, your gun, all of that stuff, I think is super, super nice. Absolutely love the little gun holster here. What I like even more though, all of these little fittings. I wish you guys could hear this. It's got just like the most satisfying little click there. So all your tips just sit right there. It's got the 0 degree out. I think that's at the shop here. So Nick, one thing I want to explain to you, you always need to make sure you're using these tips because they are optimized for this machine. So that changes your pressure, your current draw, all of that. So you're only on a 15 amp circuit here, which is actually perfect that you're running a 2.3. A 3.0 would actually not work on this because you need dedicated 20 amp circuit for it. It's a big boy commercial unit. That's what I have at the shop. So make sure you're using these tips with it. But dude, what a clean install this is. Really, really impressed with that. So it's great because Nick will just be able to, boom, quick connect this on. everything's set up, ready to go. He literally just needs to turn it on, pull this out, and you're literally washing a car.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Can't ask for anything more than that. So always good practice. Everything's good to go on that. Always good practice, Nick. Anytime before you turn on the actual pressure washer, you want to release all the air in the line. So what I do, let's actually pull this thing out. We'll rinse off your wife's wheel or something like that real quick. Boom. Grab your white tip there as well. Yep. So pull it on out here. All right, so you can pull the gun now. You'll hear all the air come out of it. Ah, you did the thing. You got to make sure. I'm so glad we left that in because that is something that so many people do. So you have to make sure these are connected fully in. And here's another tip. Anytime you start rinsing a car, always start it on the ground, then come to the panel because that becomes a projectile. All right, so let's go here and so once it kind of stops cracking here,
okay,
you want to let all the air bleed out of the line. It's really hard on the pump if you don't do this. Okay. So this is always something I recommend. You'll hear it for a little bit, especially we've got a fresh line in there, so it's got to get water all the way through it. All right, I'm going to have you hold this. I'm going to go in here and turn this puppy on. So you can see it actually pressurized the line there.
That was fast.
Give her a go.
Nice.
You're ready to wash, buddy.
This is so professional. Yeah. To be fair, it's really clean already.
All right, Nick. Well, you now have a pressure washer set up at home, dude, which
super sweet.
I think is great. So we'll get you set up with all the foam cannon orifices for this 2.3. You're going to use a 1.45 in here, a 4.6 on the nozzle. I know that means absolutely nothing to you. I just know these off the top of my head. But I do have to give a big shout out to Active because I think this is a really, really clean system. And Nick's going to do some cable management in here a little bit later on. But I'm actually really, really impressed with this thing. Again, I would say my one negative here is the hose. I would check out the Cobra Jet hose, my personal preference on it. It'll work great on here as well, being 3/8, but yeah, this is pretty good. I am just blown away though with how smooth all of the bushings and everything are in here, especially with pressure on the line. That's one thing on my MTM. I can't even pull the thing out when there's any pressure on the line. So really, really impressive up here. Dude, you got yourself a heck of a pressure washer unit.
That's awesome.
We'll see you guys in the next one soon. Bye-bye.